Alright, we should be live. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to tonight's stream. I am so happy to be with you after having a fantastic day. Getting a lot of work done, straightening out some tech issues that were, like, giving me issues with the class I'm trying to teach, and celebrating our very own Lady Lackey's birthday with her a day early, as part of a massive group call. It was just a wonderful, wonderful experience. Got to meet a lot of very, very redoubtable human beings. What a great time. And I'm back here with you to finish playing Travis Strikes Again. Hopefully we'll be able to clear this tonight, DLC stage included. And as I posted in the Discord, unfortunately I have been accidentally spoiled on some stuff for No More Heroes 3. I know of at least 2 bosses from the second game that are going to be returning in new forms for that game, but that's all I know. I know, spoiler warning, I suppose, they're bringing back Kimmy Howell for a second fight, the schoolgirl we spared, who attempted to challenge us with the little beam recorder, and even though we were all kind of expecting this one, it's been confirmed through concept art, Destroy Man is coming back for one more round. I'm actually really looking forward to that one. But anyway, here we are playing Damned Dark Night, the second to last stage in the base game, and the final, proper Death Drive game. It was originally going to be a game titled Serious Moonlight, reference to David Bowie there, before Dr. Juvenile freaked out on the dev team and, like, apparently replaced it with this somehow. It is a straight-up narrative sequel to Grasshopper Manufacture's own Shadows of the Damned. A really, really good game, despite extensive meddling from EA. That sees us now going through that game's world, or this stage sees us, right? Going through that game's world in reverse order. So starting at the last stage of the game and working our way back to the very beginning, where we're going to have to square off with the, one of the supporting cast members of that game, Johnson, a comic relief assistant. Hey, MC, how you doing? Who, received a shiny makeover as, V2 chip, spin like a top while unleashing mobile rapid-fire attacks. Huh? That sounds pretty good, not gonna lie. It's worth trying out, I suppose, maybe in place of the heavy chip. Oh, we've also got one of Travis's, exclusive skills. Nutberry Milk Blancmange, temporarily causes normal attacks to release shockwaves. That's pretty cool. I'm gonna try this V2 chip, though. Again, the abilities we have are working just fine. But I want to make sure we're ready for the last stage, because I distinctly remember it being not difficult so much as very, very demanding on one's combat abilities. We're going to be fighting a lot in the last stage. Like, a lot. This stage is fairly simple, like the darkness mechanic that serves as a hard timer on these fights that seal us within arenas aside. There's nothing all that special mechanically to this stage, which is a-okay by me. It's only the game's second, like, ooh, shoot, largely, orthodox stage. So, the game's allowed 1 or 2 fairly, normal stages. Oh, hey there, Bug Gates. Goodbye, Bug Gates. I think we, oh yeah, also, I forgot to mention this. Every time we reach an area that was, served as a boss arena in the original Shadows of the Damned, we're going to get some exposition about that boss's character from White Sheep Man. And I think there's going to be 3 more boss, arenas we encounter. There we go, we staved off the darkness. Is there something behind this hut, though? I swear I see some light in there, just maybe nothing we can get to. Oh yeah, no, those are just regular lights. Here we go. Okay, admittedly, this top is pretty good. I imagine we could use it to just shred through baseline enemies. Or no, not baseline enemies, sorry, bosses. Given that we seem to be largely invulnerable while we're using it. No! Can't let the darkness overtake us. I don't believe it deals extensive damage, but it does deal chip damage over time. Hey, Bunny, welcome back. She says, guess who attempted their first Sunshine any % run today? Oh, that's lovely news. How did it go? Yep, this is a library where we battled the Sisters of Death, I think. Another damned favorite. Yeah, the Sisters Grimm. You'd never think they were sisters without being told. Without being told, these Reapers. Their names are Maris, Colleen, and Giltine Grimm. Somehow you're supposed to work with the fact that they're sisters just by those names, which is kinda... Yeah. They were really cool bosses in the original game. I think after this, we hear the story of a young boy who was turned into a YouTube commenter, and, like, a butcher who swallowed a harmonica and became, like, a generic-looking Silent Hill villain. Has 8 Hearts come back? Just a super badass assassin. This dialogue gets more ridiculous every time. Badass, huh? You think you're badass enough to beat a sheep? Enough bullshit, let's do this. It's your 5th trial, punk. You know what makes a mid-boss really terrifying? Getting harder and harder. That could be taken several different ways. Bunny says, terrible. Got soft lock at the first PD fight. But on the weekends, I seem to have more time. Hopefully enough to get a first complete run done. Alright. Maybe you could try for another one tomorrow. Alright, Travis, yes, let's crush that ass. Oh, no, we can get knocked out of the top animation. Never mind. Not the best chip, then. Because I use my chips almost exclusively to deal with bosses and bigger enemies. So, we want to replace that with the heavy. Unfortunately, it just seems like the chips we get early on work really well for general purpose. And so, replacing them is kind of a chancy proposition. There we go. Well, this one isn't as bad as many of the others, so far anyway. Easy to dodge projectiles that also don't seem to deal all that much damage. Oh no, get back. Whoa! So we activated the grab, but I guess one of its animations carried it beyond the bounds. Oh well, there we go. Now, despite the mid-boss, we're not quite halfway there, I don't think. Bunny says if I get a run done, I'll officially be able to compete on the leaderboard, which is my dream. Well, you're almost there, I think. And remember, you don't have to have a great time to submit a run to the leaderboard. You just have to have a time. Where to next? We fight the YouTube commenter on, like, a cliffside, I think. I think Shadows of the Damned, I stopped playing for whatever reason. It's a really good game and I enjoyed it. I just stopped playing right around the Sisters Grimm's chapter, so I never fought Fleming or the songstress. Yeah, Elliot the Beast. The term psycho was created just for this guy. He kills, chops, flays, and eats. He's probably the biggest psycho of all of Fleming's toadies. C-R-A-Z-Y, crazy. Was that... I think Elliot was the YouTube commenter. He was like a younger kid who got transformed into a horrible, like, raven demon of some description, and could only say the words "fuck you" over and over again. Very, very strange boss, but great mechanically. So the darkness seems to be our enemy here more than the bugs themselves, because they've not thrown anything super resilient or aggressive at us. MC says Brady turning YouTube commenter would be scary. Oh man, don't jinx it. Don't jinx it. Oh, Jesus. Stop juggling me. Oh, one of the gold bugs is here. That's not great. Reaching the point where even the baseline bugs are pretty damn resilient. There we go. When he says, imagine only being able to say, fuck... Well, no, you may have accidentally misspelled it, fuck you'll, but that sounds like something Viper would say, so... I'm on board with it. Ah, another chip. Perfect. Another chip we are doubtless going to shelf, but a chip nonetheless. It's also a real shame that we don't get to play as the DLC characters before we clear the game, because I found out that Bad Girl's unique mechanic is based all around stun-locking enemies, even those who normally don't flinch. And MC says, makes me think of a current anime. Jujutsu Kaisen uses power called curses. One of the ways to use such powers through speech, and the character uses very simple food words to avoid hurting his comrades. He says salmon a lot. Well, there's the first boss in Lollipop Chainsaw, another Grasshopper game, based where all of the bosses are based on different genres of music, is an undead punk rocker who is able to physically attack with increasingly profane, like, insults. Like, his words will appear as large bubble letters and advance toward the player as projectiles. Very, very amusing little mechanic. Yeah, I can get behind this stage. It seems like a relatively light little breather on our way to the final stage, which, again, as I mentioned last night, is very, very long. It's also legitimately kind of tough due to the amount of enemies they throw at you. Oh god, it's Zuckerbug. Oh, no, you don't. Oh, God! See what I meant about recovery times last night, though? Like, a lot of the enemies have little telegraphing and practically no recovery time. It's not a big issue we had in earlier... Oh, there we go, we got ramen. Hard to believe we just got a few bowls of ramen left, eh? And I found on one of my delivery apps a restaurant nearby that delivers udon. I've gotta get me some, maybe tomorrow. Sukemet. Ramen fit for the gods. The seafood-based broth provides a hint of class. That sounds amazing. I could go for good seafood ramen right about now. Oh wait, we never did check what our new chip was, did we? Well, we can level up again, so we'll check, or we'll take that. The unicorn chip. Sucks the life from surrounding enemies. That might be useful in the last stage, but it's not here. Okay, so we've got the darkness and a whole bunch of turrets. If he says, one day I will come back to America and invite myself to your place and have ramen. It sounds like a plan, man, anytime. And Bunny says the Super Mario Sunshine Bingo League is on right now. Alright, take care. Thank you for dropping by, and best of luck on any runs you attempt tomorrow. Yeah, I like this. I like the concept of a breather stage in a game that's, like, very, kind of, and I don't mean this in a negative way, but kind of repetitive in its combat design like this. Giving you something a little bit lighter before, like, the ultimate final exam, keeps the formula from feeling totally stale in that stage, I think. Yeah, if he says anytime, not COVID at least. Right on. By summer or early fall, hopefully things will be much closer to normal. Oh no, you don't. Oh no, you don't, little bug. I do love using these bigger elite bugs just as projectiles. Oh god, gold bug again. Or Zuckerbug, sorry. The knights are called gold bug. Oof. Okay, we've got our specials. Once we get rid of Zuckerbug, the rest should be relatively easy. Good news is they make for wonderful ammunition. There we go. Oh, alright, Bunny, we've got a few more minutes. Well, you're welcome to sit with us until then. We should be nearing the demesnes of the first boss, then. Or the area where we fought Shadow of the Damned's first boss for the final time. Which, again, all of the fights in Shadows of the Damned, all the boss fights, to the best of my knowledge, are really good. And yeah, this is the area, right here. Oh, I see you. Nope. Oh, my god. I do love our special little thrust combo. It's amazing. Excellent coverage, eh? Problem is we lose it all the time because when half of the enemies land one hit on us, we lose it instantly. Alright, Bunny, go right ahead. And GB skip is what exactly? Oh, and MC, while you're in the chat, what do you think of this stage overall, since we're nearing the end of it, I believe? It's got a very cool aesthetic, I think, but that's because the original Shadows of the Damned was just so good. So good in its design. It brought together a lot of absolute legends from the Japanese video game industry. Oh, hey, it's one of the doors, or one of the locks from Shadows of the Damned. It's been ages since I've seen these. Yeah, MC says it feels simple and refreshing. It does. You'll need a key to proceed past this market. When the baby is hungry, feed him a mock strawberry. Keys are sometimes sweet. Yes, 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 I remember these. I remember these horrifying doors. Well, let's grab our strawberry, but not before we grab the rest of our goodies. Oh, Bunny says it's Gelato Beach skip. Okay, it skips the entirety of the stage using a clip. It's very hard to pull off, but used in any percent speed runs. Okie dokie. This seems like a game that would be kind of prime for speedrunning, doesn't it? Like just optimizing combat strategies and chip loadouts to deal the most damage, even maybe while taking a considerable amount of damage in the least amount of time. I'm really interested to see, again, I hate that I got spoiled, but I am interested to see what they end up doing with Destroy Man and his new designs in No More Heroes 3. Since the first one's called Mass-Produced Destroy Man, maybe he will serve as his own henchman throughout the stage. Like the cheaper versions of his thing. Okay, we've got the Blueberry Cheese Brownie, which allows us to enter Dark Rage mode. Oh, boy. Yeah, that's replacing the Heavy Chip. Y'all remember Dark Rage mode from the first 2 games, yeah? Mock strawberries are delicious, babies love them. Okay, yeah. Look at those eyes, God above. Baby isn't satisfied easily, go find more mock strawberries. Okay, I guess that's what the other half of the market is for. Hello again, Bug Gates. And the darkness is slowly going to be sapping our health. Oh, there we go. Okay, and I take it the last one's going to run us all the way around the circuit. How many bosses do you think the third game will have, roughly? The first had 10, the second 15. This one has 7 or 8, I think, but it's a simple side game. I'm hoping somewhere in the neighborhood of 20, 24, something like that. It's a lofty goal, but if the Dark Souls games can manage it. Yep. Gotta get one more strawberry. Okay, Grandpa. It's so weird to see this character being helpful again. Okay, and that single, Bug Gates was invoking the darkness. Without him, though, we should be free of any and all threats on our way back through the market. I believe the market in Shadows of the Damned is where we first encountered the game's first boss. You had to, like, temporarily impair and run from him, though, I think, in kind of like a survival horror, sequence. Mock strawberries are so delicious. Baby is satisfied, baby is laughing. Baby is still smiling. You may pass. Continue on your journey. Okay, yeah. Sure. We will gladly do that. We're almost to Johnson. Here's our second ramen stall. Oh, this stage is also quite linear. After the last couple, I rather enjoy that. Just makes it less likely that you're gonna miss something important, right? What do we have here? Jiro-style ramen. The heavyweight champ. King of pork-based ramen. Oh, look at that, just heaping with, like, sprouts, pork, and sauce. That looks so good. Yo, those bean sprouts are actually really good in a lot of dishes. Especially if they're, like, lightly, sauteed. Bunny says, it's times like this where I question why I run this game. Gelato Beach Skip is the hardest thing I've attempted in a video game. Makes me wonder. I'm not entirely sure I know what the hardest thing I've attempted in a game would be. George, yeah, that's the first boss. This guy probably had the biggest impact of all the appearing demons, violently attacking the player while a harmonica is stuck in his throat. George was the weirdest character of all, making it hard to believe he was the first boss created. Weird shit, huh? No, but, like, he was in the same game as a little boy who was turned into some kind of demon condor and said exclusively, fuck you. A storybook character you fight in storybook illustrations, and a king of hell modeled after a penis. So, no, he was not the strangest boss. He was quirky, but not excessively so. So instead of charging up their weapons, I want to say Bad Man and Bad Girl both, drink beer to refuel themselves. Oh, God. So that's what Buggy Travis can do. Just stun lock us with a gun. Alright, here we go. Okay, so we, like, can hardly move at all while in dark side mode, but we deal absurd amounts of damage. Bunny says speedrunning really does add a new coat of fresh difficulty onto a game. Self-imposed, but yeah. Paula, sweetest of the underworld. Loved by the Lord of Demons and made a princess, this lovely lady is chock full of tragedy. After being saved by her boyfriend Garcia, he's forced to relive her trauma in an endless loop. Seriously, what a tragic character. Okay. So, any guesses as to what the final stage is going to be? What the very last Death Drive game is going to impose upon us? Garcia Hotspur. His partner, Johnson, is a talking skull who can transform into any weapon. These two demon hunters dive into all sorts of battles, striking fear into the hearts of even the demons of hell themselves. But it's the guys who think they can do everything on their own that end up having the toughest time. Broadly true of my experiences in life. What are we up against this time? Just a bunch of buggy? Alright, well, we can handle them. Yep. Have we made it? Not yet. Though, visually, I can tell we are near the very beginning of Shadows of the Damned. It's okay if we take damage and lose our special meter like this, because we also now deal an absurd amount of damage. With everything, no matter what, as long as Dark Side is active. Boom. Is that everything? Nope. I see the final checkpoint up ahead. And there we go. The door to Johnson's boss arena is now open. And I tell you what, even though I do like the Dark Side application a lot, I still prefer the ability to slow things down. Bunny says, I'm also getting close to 100 hours at 80 right now, and MC says, it dawns on you, doesn't it, Bunny? To which she says, nah, it just means I have more hours to flex. Is that really something you'd flex on people? I don't know, like, I put in, gosh, probably over 120 hours to Elder Scrolls Oblivion when I was younger, but, that is, well, it's nothing to be proud or ashamed of, I don't think. It's just indicative of the fact that you really like something. Now, I wonder if we'll get the DLC stage first, or the final stage first. I'm leaning towards the final stage being first at this rate. Yeah, MC says people will respect your effort. That's true, especially if you engage with the community and all that. Here we go. Again, just for context, originally, yeah, Johnson, or Eight Hearts, was a sentient revolver that could transform into different weapons. He never took on, like, a humanoid form in the base game. You know my name? Who are you? A gamer, and a huge damned fan. How many playthroughs? Just 3, but not being able to carry over weapons was always frustrating. It's meant to set you back to basics. I'm not mad at that or anything. I always assumed there were probably memory issues and stuff. But if it ever gets a new port, I just hope that you're able to carry weapons over to the next playthrough. That's all. Yeah, I'll let the right people know. Alright, that's enough small talk. I just can't get over this. It's such an honor to be able to go up against the Johnson. Again, developers really laying it on thick that they made this game. The only one to whom I've ever lost to. whom I've ever lost is Garcia. Always has been, always will be. Man, you're awesome, but I'm not gonna hold back. It's time for the legend to sleep. I hate the word legend. You do too, right, Travis? Yep. I can't stand it either. Okay, Johnson, let's do this. Forgive my terrible voice acting, but it's a game with a lot of text. I'll take everything you've got. Bring it on, Travis! He's got a very interesting boss theme. And, yeah, his battle theme is just a straight-up rap song called Welcome to Hell, apparently. Written from his perspective. Oh god, I love it. He has the most health out of any boss we've fought so far. But it looks like he's gonna need it. Oh, he's got his own version of the turrets. Admittedly, I really like his moveset. Hey, it's Garcia! Switch to the next phase, Johnson. I hear Garcia's voice. I heard it too. That cool-ass voice. Hey, Lady Underjoyed, welcome to the stream, ma'am. Hope you're doing well. Good evening. MC says, if you could put a lot of hours into something, that means you take care of yourself to handle it, otherwise you would not be able to write text properly. I mean, true. And Bunny says, obviously no one does, and I'm cool with that. I just like being known as that one sunshine gal, you know? Kind of my shtick, my internet persona. Fair enough. I guess the closest I have to that is being the narrator, or the man with a reasonably smooth voice but nothing to say in it. Ipsy says sounds more like a phase thing. And Lady Underjoyed says, yes, how are you today? Thank you for asking. I'm doing great. I was able to attend a friend's remote birthday celebration earlier today, which absolutely lifted my spirits. And we're back to polish off No More Heroes Travis Strikes again. Also, unintentionally, I found some concept art for the third game that revealed a couple, like, major bosses returning, and it looks like the third proper entry is gonna be fantastic. I do hope you all can join me for that, whenever it's released. Ostensibly sometime this year, we just don't know when exactly. This stage is one massive love letter to one of Grasshopper Manufacture's other titles, Shadows of the Damned, which you may be familiar with as a reasonably well-marketed release on Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. Garcia, give me power! The power to take down this badass assassin! So yeah, now Johnson just goes insane. But... oh, sorry. Could I not harm him? Well, my throw didn't, anyway. Hold on. Once we destroy... yikes! Once we destroy his turrets, we might be in business. Or no, what is this? Johnson, buddy? You alright? There we go. Oh god. Now he's vulnerable again. Good night, sweet prince. Bunny says, I'll put aside Gelato Beach Skip for now. I need to focus on polishing up necessary missions I need to run through. Yeah, the stuff from, like, the back half of the game, I would imagine. So, Johnson, funnily enough, is one of the easiest bosses in the game, and not due to our chips or anything. There's just not a lot of his moveset to phase 2, but I still really like the fight. It's got an emphasis on projectiles, like a very gentle bullet hell, and, we get to see what a really prominent supporting character from a different video game that I really enjoy, could do if he was fighting, under his own power. I'm sorry, Garcia, for being such a weak partner. You're the greatest partner ever. Hey, Garcia, let's continue our journey together. I can't do it alone. What's up, Johnson? That's not like you. I miss you, Garcia. Let's fire up that big boner again. Yes, he can transform into like a skeletal railgun called the Big Boner. Because... That's impossible, Johnson. I've been sent to the 4th dimension. I'm in the deepest depths of prison. Where are you? I'll go save you. No, you'll be killed too. This place is the true hell. Don't give up, Garcia. Hey, assassin, take good care of my partner. Fuck off, Mr. Legendary Demon Hunter. I don't need no goddamn partner. You have just one thing to do. Destroying that 4th dimension. He's right, Garcia. Someday we'll go on a journey of battle together once again. That sounds good. Well, that's enough reading for me. Guess I'll get a bit of exercise. You gonna be okay without my gun? I'm fine with my bare hands. Don't get killed this time. I'll never falter again. Wait for me, Garcia. I'm coming to find you. Finding the door to the 4th dimension will be a piece of cake if I put a bit of work into it. Hurry, Johnson. We're gonna go hunt down Fleming's son like a dog. Travis Touchdown. The second man to ever beat me. You too are a man among men. I look better in a racing jacket, though. Tell the Demon Hunter to wear a goddamn t-shirt underneath. He likes showing off. He's proud of his toned bod. Hey, enough with the bullshit. Later, assassin. See you again sometime. Yeah, that'd be fun. Oh, so now Garcia will help out. Which I presume is setting him and Johnson up for a cameo in the next game. The circle has appeared. Now, to the 4th dimension. NMC says next on the Overanalyst channel, Toho Project games. Aren't those like kind of freeware or open source bullet hell games? Garcia Hotspur is coming back. Yeah, that is something to look forward to. And Bunny says there's other strats I've yet to attempt in general, like Yoshi Skip in Pianta Village. Oh, yeah. Yeah, Pianta Village is gonna be tricky, I would imagine. NMC says yes, they are. Nice work. I was kind of worried about what I'd do if you actually killed 8 hearts. Nice one, Travis. And yeah, MC says also the origin of Bad Apple. Yes, I saw that for the very first time a couple weeks ago. A friend showed it to me. Beautiful animation. Thanks to you, he's now off to free Garcia, and we just may be seeing a sequel on the horizon. By the way, Paula has been really into SUP yoga recently, and has been seriously considering moving to Hawaii, apparently. World's actually pretty peaceful. Thanks, Sheepman. So Johnson's probably going to give us a turret or a projectile attack of some kind. Crossbone chip acquired. Alright. Yeah, and MC says I learned about it after watching a Mega CD version of it. It's 12 years old. Oh, I know. I was shown a Danganronpa version, which was done really well. It's quite cute. So, now that we're done, what do we think of that stage in all? I'd say it didn't leave much of an impression on me the very first time I played it, but, like, playing through it with you guys and attempting to look at games just a little bit more analytically, it's actually one of the game's stronger offerings. So far, I'd say the worst stage in the game is probably the first one, just because it's very, very simple, and goes on a bit long for what's essentially a straightforward linear beat-em-up corridor. But this I would put just below Stage 4 and Stage 2. The unique mechanics and aesthetics in each just push them well over the top of the rest of what the game has to offer, but of the more conventional stages, this is easily the best. What the hell is going on? I booted up Serious Moonlight, but the sequel to Damn popped up. What the hell? Johnson was 8 hearts? And Garcia popped up at the end too. I don't even know where to start explaining all of this, but I ran backwards through that crazy-ass Demon World city. At the very least, there weren't any messed up monsters and weirdos I could never be friends with. I'd finally collected the 6 death balls. As for what would happen next, I had no idea what to expect. I didn't really give a shit whether Badman's broke-ass daughter came back to life or not, but one thing was for sure. These death balls were basically Dr. Juvenile's very soul itself. To be honest, I'll admit that I did feel like something was about to go down. And then, something did actually happen. Oh, so, it's relayed in a series of text adventures that we're not going to get into here on stream, but, Bad Girl actually does have, a backstory that explains... Wait. Oh, it's, Shenron. But not. This is amazing. So, of course, they're going to ask for Jean. Not Jean, sorry. They're going to ask for, Charlotte to be brought back to life. And she is. As a dog. Well, yeah. It surprised the shit out of me. A dog. A fucking dog. This little, tiny-ass little dog just appeared out of nowhere. I'll never forget what happened. That dog that showed up, on the outside, it's, well, a little dog. But it turns out it was actually Bad Girl on the inside. Or rather, it was Charlotte. Either way, what I'm saying is my daughter apparently came back as a fucking dog. Huh? Why a dog and not a cat? That's not the goddamn point here. The right question would be how the hell I knew that dog was my daughter. I don't give a fuck if you're one of those weird-ass cat people. Anyway, I actually screamed out loud, I didn't raise no goddamn dog, Charlie. Once Charlotte became a dog, it was like she'd gone back to being a little kid again. It's called infantile regression, I think. Oh, no worries, MCFC says another game to the list. Oh, Ghost Trick. Man, I love Ghost Trick. I played through it a couple times when I was younger. It's a really, really good game. Lady Underjoyed says, cat people unite. I know, I am not a cat person in the context he's referring to, but I am a cat person, for sure. Alright, Bunny, thanks for dropping by. Take care. She got all happy and wagged her tail. She came right up to my leg, started making these weird dog sounds, and then went and pissed all over the place. Lovely. So he's happy to have his daughter back as a dog. He works as an assassin very reluctantly. So here's the backstory we get through text adventures I'm not going to subject you guys to. Apparently, I think his name is Shigeki Birkin, Badman, was a professional baseball player for the Santa Destroy team. Hey, Spanners, welcome to the stream. So glad to have you, and hope you've been doing well today. So he was a professional baseball player who suffered a really horrific cranial injury, hence the like little mask or athletic support he wears. And as a result, he developed, I think, some kind of superhuman killer instinct that was then exploited by people he had fallen in with, like I think loan shark types and all that, to utilize him as a weapon of war and profit. But in an attempt to create a more servile, easily manipulatable version of the same weapon, his quote-unquote sponsor, so his handler, kidnapped his little girl and subjected her to brutal, near-fatal torture for a protracted period of time, which effectively, as you would expect, shattered her psyche, which explains why Bad Girl, compared to most of the assassins we fought in the first game, was barely lucid. She had next to no idea what was going on, and was completely and totally, just a broken person at that point. So she does have backstory and some substance or explanation to her style and demeanor. It's just given to us in a text adventure. Hey, Spanners, I've been doing pretty well, thank you. You join us in the final stream before I start playing a Pokemon game for the first time in like 12 years. So, hopefully you'll enjoy that playthrough. He says I hatched a shiny Pokemon today, so it's been pretty alright. Right on. What Pokemon was it? Got a new article, got a new facts, and Jean should be in, Jean should actually be in, Damn Dark Knight. This time. Currently in a back alley just past a large fountain. I'm shivering from the cold, tired of traveling. Please come for me quickly. Okay, that one's pretty simple. She's right near the end of the game. And we've got one more facts from Clark. So you finally cleared all the games. The Death Drive AAA sleeping beneath CIA headquarters will soon be reset. However, we made it just under the wire. While I'd like to go visit you directly and discuss future strategy, the fact that you're reading this now means that I'm already dead. This is my final message, remotely set up to be sent to you automatically in the event of my death. And the fact that I'm now dead means that Juvenile is now likely completely out of control. While it's my hope that her wishes can be fulfilled, it's my own wish that she be freed from the bounds of hopelessness. It was thanks to you that we were able to time everything so well. In a way, we fought together while standing on opposing sides of the line, but from here on out, I'm sure our respective sides will have no choice but to face each other head on. If we're able to come out on top, then great. But if we're not, then please, do whatever you possibly can do to stop the DDAAA abhorrent plans for humanity. Right, remember, because the CIA have used the central mainframe for this stupid 90s-ass console, as the basis for a 3D printing, superstructure that, is going to create an army of remorseless artificial killers, intended to be used to wage war across the entire Earth. Spanner says, what was that? My audio's cut out several times and I keep freezing. Oh, sorry to hear that. What Pokemon game? Sword. Just got it in the mail and bought both DLCs. So I've no idea what I'm in for. I'm going in largely blind. And, it's gonna be interesting to see how I feel about Pokemon games at this point in my life. Oh, we can interact with Bad Dog, though. Okay, admittedly, that's a pretty cute little design. Well, let's go rescue Jean one last time, and then take on the last stage of the base game. Hey, Spanner says, I have sword. Right on, right on. Oh, will do, man. Time to kick some ass! He put, like, some angry video game nerd English on that. I love this title screen, I do. Okay, I think we want Toilet 3? Could be wrong, but I think it's Toilet 3. Yep. All we have to do is fight through the swamp one more time. Spanner says just don't do what that one streamer did and shiny hunt a Wooloo before the game starts so you can use it for the whole story. Oh no, again, I'm going in totally blind. I have no idea what a Wooloo even is. So, you will be seeing, the only thing I've seen is like the very first gym battle. And the ridiculous aesthetics of it all were so charming, I was like, I just have to play this at some point. Wait, can we level up again? No, not even Johnson gave us enough EXP to level up. We might be able to afford one more level up before we beat the base game. And that's emphasis on might. Well, no, actually, seeing we've got 3k plus, we should be able to. Spinner says, okay, after you find out what a Wooloo is, I'll show you the shiny. It's a charming name. One, two, three. And it's now dead. There we go. Just a bunch of Bug Street boys being spawned by a generator. No big deal there. Nice and easy. How do you love that? Okay. I do apologize for revisiting earlier areas so frequently, but they want us to find Jean pretty often, and I'm fairly certain we get something good for it. It's just, in characteristic overanalyst style, I completely forget what that would be. Oh, the Zuckerbugs. Probably the most consistently challenging enemies we've been up against at this point in the game. Largely due to their range and resilience. Spinner says, in other news, the video academy I attended since it began turned 4 today. Alright. Right on. And business is still going well, I would assume? I will gladly take some ramen, sir. Thank you. Yo, MC, if you're around, I'm curious. What are your thoughts on the bosses we've seen in this game overall? I feel like there's a real mixed bag here, and you guys know me in boss analysis. The last two we've seen, Smoking King and Johnson, despite being late game bosses, seem to have the best design overall, and they've also been much simpler to deal with. Mr. Doppelganger was also quite good, but the first boss, Triple Star, felt borderline unfinished. Lots of cool attacks, but not really any real telegraphs to a lot of them. And as you'll actually see, before long, the final boss of the game, in a contrast to No More Heroes 2, is stupidly easy. Spinner says, I can only assume so, got too old for it just before I graduated. Okay. MC says, I've been on and off with this game, not sure about the bosses. Yeah, we lost, due to my poor archival skills, the Mario 64 series, but I will have to start uploading, like, more recent playthroughs to YouTube again, so that these archives are available not just for new viewers, but for all of us to consult. So I'll start with, Sunshine, I suppose, which is the next full playthrough I've got available. I just decided straight up not to upload Amalur because it's the type of stream that's perfect for casual chatting with viewers. It is not the type of thing I think people would like to watch without any prospect of interactivity whatsoever. And I've not forgotten we need to finish up Crash 4 as well, and technically Watam. There we go. And she says also Hand of Fate 2. That's right, that's right. There's technically 2 quest lines we need to mop up. I'm thinking of setting aside a week or a weekend just for these things. Spinner says speed run Super Mario Land, obviously. Don't know that I could. MC says, I managed to get someone back into No Straight Roads after they quit past the second boss. Really? I cannot imagine for the life of me Sayu being the boss that just, like, causes people to lose interest. As I've gone back through, like, off-screen and played, like, the little Christmas variants of fights and things like that, I've developed a greater and greater appreciation for the way that fight is put together, both musically and mechanically. I think it's one of my favorites now. Yeah, MC says the gameplay made the person lose interest. Even that, though, I don't get. Like, oh, because they have a thing for rhythm games and tight controls. Oh, Spanish says Super Mario Land's like half an hour long. Oh, I know, I just mean I don't think I could speed run it well. You guys have obviously not seen me, or much of me, trying to platform under duress. Okay, is the cat here? I can't hear it. And she says, anyway, shown your Twitch VOD and they wanted to play again. Oh, that's wonderful! Thank you so much, by the way, for sharing the channel with someone else. But I'm glad that we were able to get them engaged again, because that is a game that needs some love. And a sequel. I mean, I would not complain if we got a sequel. Just saying. So Jean should be in the next map. God, these locks are disturbing. Which is the intent, so they're really well designed. Just gotta keep swinging. Keep swinging. Get that berry. And then just sprint through the market as quick as we can to drop off the last berry at the gate. Or, wipe out the single instance of bug gates. And MC said part of the reaction was... Mix between Jack and Daxter and anime, that's not wrong, really. Again, I look at NSR and I just think, oh my god, it's Psychonauts with an emphasis on, like, utopian, futuristic visuals and sound. Like, this is perfect for me. And it really is about as close as you could come to my ideal aesthetic preferences with a game like that. Guess one of the only real improvements you could make, like, to tailor that game just for me, would be to have DJ Subatomic Supernova be a more conventional disco artist instead of a, quote, deep disco artist. Okay, now we should be able to access Jane. Okay, where are you at, kitty? Over there, of course. That's the purpose of that little, side area, and the barrier that blocked off access to it. Oh, notice that these turrets share the same general color palette as Johnson's. that is an interesting little touch. Spanner says, now I gotta ask your opinion on the Beastie Boys. Haven't heard a lot of their music, honestly. We've probably established in this channel before that Brady has somewhat unorthodox taste in music for someone his age. Hey, Val, welcome, welcome. Says, man, you're just jealous. How are you doing? How are you feeling tonight, man? Glad to see you. Val says, love the boys. Again, not a group I'm super familiar with, but... Oh, Spanish says you gotta listen to Brass Monkey. No, I have heard that. And it is A-okay. Oh, by recovering Gene in every stage, we unlock a brand new chip. Which does things and stuff. Val says, high out of my mind on the drugs they gave me for recovering for your surgery, I'm sure. And MC asks, what is music and how do I listen to it? Ain't that the question? Yep, and Johnson's chip gives us a turret. Makes you invisible to enemies. No. I'm not about that. We're gonna have to fight them all anyway. So back to the trailer. Spanish says music should be consumed orally, and Val says Brady's a dex build, not a stealth build. True, and this game's like a pretty conventional brawler / beat 'em up, so we would have to fight most of the enemies anyway, and if the invisibility dispels just as soon as you attack someone or something, it kind of defeats the purpose. We did unlock one new game, or one new piece of information. The actual, damn Dark Knight, spreadsheet, or splash page. Once upon a time, there was a gun who dreamed of being somebody. Oh, snap! A sequel to the 2011 title, Shadows of the Damned? Check out the game that transcends time and space. Kill off Garcia's enemies infesting the underworld. Shoot! Annihilate! First, there's something I have to emphasize here. This game is a sequel to a game that's gonna be released in the future. Sorry, I just forgot about that. You could tell how badass the Death Drive Mark II is gonna be by the fact that it, alters time and space. Also, this is gonna be an absolute monster of an open-world AAA hit, pushing the console specs as far as they could possibly go. As with Shadows of the Damned, the game is set in, you guessed it, the underworld. The game starts as the hero Garcia is overpowered and killed by his enemies. His body pierced by 7 holy bullets, Garcia realizes that his time has come and unloads his dying request on his partner, Johnson. To take down Alfred, the demon who killed him. Without the power to escape from the underworld, Garcia infuses Johnson with his own soul, causing him to transform into 8 Hearts, underworld inhabitant and hero of justice. One important point. While it may be slightly confusing here and there, even gamers who have yet to play the original can jump right into this game with ease. So how do I know the future? Because I'm a true goddamn gamer. Bye-bye. Oh, man. And there's Johnson, 8 Hearts. We've got a really crazy-ass new character on our hands, folks. I mean, he was originally Johnson the Gun, and now that he's got 8 Hearts, he basically can't die. Huh? So just how does a former gun attack, you ask? Well, with transformational explosions like only Johnson can pull off. Yet he's the easiest boss in the game. Spanner says, I diffuse music into my being. MC is singing force maybe in the style of Friday Night Funkin'. Reminds me of the Simlish lyrics from that game. And Val says, I mean, thanks to bone condition, bone conduction, I technically do listen to my music through touch. Oh. And MC says it's one of the Restar tracks. I gotcha. Ristar. Stars in general. Okay, time for the last game. Now, I'm taking your votes now, ladies and gentlemen. What type of game is it going to be, or where's it going to be set? What's the title going to be? We're going to plow through the text adventure really quickly. I promise you, you aren't ready for this. MC says Brady play Ristar already. Make Bunny mad. Val says Brady, they aren't stars, they're shines. No, Ristar is an anthropomorphic star. His game's also better. Spanner says Katy Perry singing Firework or Last Friday Night in Simlish. Oh, that sounds great. Reminds me of that clip of Joel from Vinesauce attempting to perform a cover of Nickelback's Photograph entirely in Simlish. Sculimero dude, inalano mano dit. Travis fights through a bunch of cool assassins off-screen, or, like, purely in text-based format. Travis has to defeat his informant. And we get our last death ball. Which we have to take to Portland to get recovered. Almost there. So the death balls were created by an expert engineer who specializes in crafting bowling balls. And video games are ostensibly, quote, bowling's arch nemesis. Alright, yeah, sure, no more heroes, alright. MC says the whole Star versus Shines could only have been a disaster with my profile picture. I'm also on Team Star, if only out of a sense of moral obligation at this point. And Val says, a video killed the radio star story as old as time. Yeah, video games and bowling. It's not like, you know, early arcades were often based out of or shared facilities with bowling alleys, never mind. Alright, I think we're ready for the last stage, the last main stage. What is the final game for the Death Drive gonna be? Val says, yeah, no, don't worry about it. I totally didn't first play Street Fighter at a bowling alley. Which Street Fighter, may I ask? You ever played the original? It's, like, not a fighting game in the traditional sense that we would imagine them today, like with multiple playable characters and all that, but it is very good. So the final game for the Death Drive... Oh, man. Val says I think it was the third or fourth. The fourth had 3D graphics. The fourth was released, for, like, the PS3 and 360, so somewhere around there. Probably 3. Time to prove we're a real collector. by slotting in the final game produced for the Death Drive Mark II, CIA. Except it's not a game. It's a game cartridge that's going to allow Travis to teleport into CIA headquarters so he could shut down the Death Drive AAA and stop it from, like, 3D printing a massive army of, at this point, bugs to go out and destroy the world for the US military. Oh, God. Oh, this is actually the final stage of the game. Or, no, maybe we're not going to CIA headquarters. Maybe we're, like, beaming ourselves into their mainframe or something like that. But, there we go. Sorry you're having issues, Spanners. I know Steam was having some issues earlier on. And, no, this is just what a regular cartridge for this weird game system looks like. Spanner says, is that a Magic 8-Ball? CIA Magic 8-Ball? Magic CIA 8-Ball. And Val says, no, it's the entire Central Intelligence Agency. It's just a blacked-out Magic 8-Ball. And Val says, ooh, yeah, no, I love this. I love this. It's not a very good stage, but this ball is a prototype and is not guaranteed to function properly. Continue anyway? Yeah, sure. And MC says the CIA moon. Oh, this is great. Jesus Christ. You know, the great thing is, after playing through 3 of these games, this is not even that strange for No More Heroes. It's certainly not strange for a Suda51 game. Yeah, this makes sense. Spanner says, I always wanted a Magic 8-Ball and I don't know why. Val. I could tell right away that this isn't the game world anymore. Yeah, certainly doesn't look like the game world, that's for sure. We're back in the real world now. But where is this? It said CIA for the 7th mysterious death ball. Is this seriously the CIA? Inside CIA headquarters. The Bug Street boys are running around this place, too. Using the Death Drive Mark II to connect the real world to the game world. Was that the big plan? Bringing all these bugs into reality to cause the real world to bug out? Nope. That's not it. These bugs are protecting something. What lies ahead? Is it you yourself, Dr. Juvenile? Whatever it is, let's find it. Now, there is a gimmick here, and it takes the form of a massive reference. Otherwise, CIA headquarters is just going to be one massive combat gauntlet that honestly can get a little tricky due to just the sheer volume of enemies they throw at you. As he says, the bugs are protecting Cyberpunk. We're in CDPR headquarters, actually. Characteristically, it misfired. Now that was easy enough since they were all just Bug Street boys and a couple buggies. But trust me, we will start having to deal with, like, elite enemies en masse before long. Now, thankfully, there is plenty of cash around here. Oh, that's a lot of ranged enemies, alright. The other, I guess we could call it a very loose theme of this stage, is enemy generators. There's a ton of them all over the place. They'll be spawning enemies weak and strong throughout our entire time at headquarters. Val says the headquarters of a Polish gaming company is actually just in the middle of the CIA in the USA. Sure, I'd believe it, yeah. There we go, finally down. It'll be a little while before we see the gimmick, but I actually think it's pretty cool for what it is. Oh, I see an Azteca stone at the end of this little hallway complex. Oh god, oh god. I do wish there was a block button or something in this game. He says, do you know the person that the CIA invested in Pokemon Go? The person responsible received a medal for it. Seriously? That is sad on so many levels. And yeah, Val explains they'd have been dumb not to its free unencrypted location data. Yeah, yeah. MC says it's a pretty good game to keep your phone out too, yeah. It's also very, very annoying to those around you more often than not. So apologies, a lot of the CIA is just going to be us running around corridors, so we won't have a great deal to say, as this is the stage, more or less. I would say it's probably my least favorite stage in the game, but that's only because of how long and how plain it is. The boss is interesting enough, if very easy. There we go. Nope, that looks like progress. We're staying away from that for now. It's also not the most visually appealing stage in the world, is it? Okay, we've almost got him. Hey, Starlight, welcome back to the stream. Hope you're doing well today, my friend. We are nearing the end of the base game and priming ourselves for the DLC stage, which I've never played or seen before. Val says, I mean, if I wanted to monitor people, I'd develop an app that makes you keep your phone up and looking at the world. That's true. Or if I just wanted, like, environmental data, anything like that, definitely. Thank God Travis has developed a real knack for running at a pretty decent pace as of this game. If we were moving, like, No More Heroes 1 non-dashing speeds right now, it would take us ages to get through this. Okay, what's the gimmick here? Oh, it's one of the sheepmen. Virtually all of whom I think will be having to slug our way through at some point or another. Alright, let's swat a few more of the Bug Street boys to build up a charge. And use it to just lay the boss flat. Oh god. This one's actually got a tougher moveset to negotiate than a lot of them do, I feel. Because he's got lots of little AoEs. Like so. And relatively numerous iframes. Oh, are they finally gone? There is a finite number of them, okay. You'll also notice that enemies seem to deal a good amount of additional damage in this stage. Oh, and the bosses, or mini-bosses, certainly have more health. We should have reached, yep, our first checkpoint, though. I think we'll have to go through 5 of those, 5 screens like this, something like that. it's a little long for just a bunch of this. Up next, an arcade cabinet. Here's our gimmick. We need a 50 blessings medal to load the arcade game. Val says, what does he eat? How does he shit so quickly? I assume we don't want to know. But 50 blessings, does that sound familiar? It should to those of you who are familiar with major indie titles of, like, the past decade. And if it sounds familiar to you, then I can confirm, yeah, this is going exactly where you think it is. Well, Val, we talked about this earlier. Not only does he visit the toilet so often, he also never wipes or washes his hands, or flushes, for that matter. So, Travis's personal hygiene is not great. I would imagine it's very uncomfortable being Travis Touchdown for multiple reasons. And Val says it sounds familiar to an MMO player. You'll see what that's a reference to in just a moment. And Starlight says, well, he is in a video game. That's true. That is true. Well, but we're not in a video game. If you mean, like, in the story, not this is a video game we are currently playing. But in the narrative, we're not in a video game currently. We're in CIA headquarters, which still has weird wireframe toilets, apparently. They're also blocking off our field of vision. Huh. Yeah, Starlight, that's right. Apparently, as ridiculous and psychedelic as the visuals appear, this is the only stage in the game that does not take place inside of a virtual world. This is, if we're to believe No More Heroes, Travis Strikes Again, just the regular old real-world CIA headquarters. Val says, there are porta potties in the middle of the hall, apparently. What the fuck is the CIA doing with all of our tax dollars? Well, remember years back, one of the federal departments had a problem with people, like, just pooping in their offices' halls all the time? So, I assume this might be some kind of measure intended to, regulate that to some extent. Like, it happened all the time. It became a serious problem to the point where, like, inter-office memos were being published about, hey, please don't crap in the middle of the floor. We've got to use that for official purposes. What on earth is this? Oh, is this our medal? Yes, it is. Excellent. Okay, so the difficulty here is tracing the endless tide of enemies back to the generators without being able to see much of the stage. No, that's where it was. One more over here. Is there another somewhere, or is that... Oh, yes, there is. Specifically, there's another one right here. Or we never even killed that one. Never mind. That's got him. And we're finally free. We can only temporarily clear our vision, but that should still do the job. Just some money over here? That's alright, we'll take it. Oh no. It was a trap, because of course. Well, that got rid of the big one early on. We've not seen all that many of the mace wielders recently, have we? I just remember seeing a handful of them in the last stage. Whoops. That one was entirely on me. So 50 Blessings, some people may remember, is the name of a, like, hard right-wing ultranationalist terror organization in a little smash hit indie game called Hotline Miami. And yep, we're actually doing this. For reals? There's an arcade version of Hotline Miami? Wonder if it has new modes in it. And who do we have here? You don't look familiar. You're not like him, nor them. I don't recognize your face at all. But I know you. But you don't know me. Do you remember? Look at my face. We've met before. We passed each other out by the convenience store, haven't we? I don't know you. Why are you here? You're no guest of mine. I remember now. I invited him about the thing. I know about that. You're up to the task. I don't mean to force responsibility on you or anything, but you're the only one who can find him. I don't know anything about this thing. Nobody's told me anything about him, nor about you. There's a reason you've come here. It'd probably be a good idea to confirm that reason. He's disappeared. Find him, and you'll find the reason you seek. There is no reason. You should leave. Security here is pretty tight. It's not going to be easy to get in, but we've got your back. I'll open the lock up ahead for you. I'll give you a clue. He has a symbol. It's a very important symbol. Collect them, and I'll open the locks. That'll be your reward. You can't! That's against the rules. I see that you remember now, don't you? The symbol. This lead-in. I kind of remember it. Find him. Who the hell is him? Val says I've never played Hotline Miami, but I've heard it's great. Oh, it is. And MC says I feel like this game took one page from Evo Land. Yeah, in a sense. It's like another great big mashup of properties the devs loved. This is one of the benefits of, again, I'm pretty sure, getting your game published by Devolver Digital. So now we can follow this trail of, like, Bratva corpses from Hotline Miami, like the same texture, the sprites and all, pulled from the game, to the third area. I do like this. It's not really explained at length, but this entire stage is just a love letter to Hotline Miami. Which is an interesting concept for your final phase, or your final stage. Yeah, and Val, that's right. He says Devolver also published Hotline Miami, if I recall. They did. It was, I want to say, along with, like, Enter the Gungeon, one of the massive titles that really, really gained them a lot of acclaim. Val says Gungeon is awesome, so full of puns. Yeah, it's a very good game. It's a very, very good game. Pretty difficult to learn, but fun all the same. Great variety in tools and weapons. My kind of roguelike. There we go. We just want to be rid of the gold bug as easy as we can. So it seems like each of the enemy generators has an elite bug guarding them, but they collectively are just spawning, Bug Street boys. Which is fine by me. You just gotta staunch the outright tide of, nasties. I do wish we could level up our battery a bit, but no dice. We have no purpose for all of these boxes, but I'm gonna obtain them anyway. At the very least, it seems like we'll be able to play Shinobu. Well, no, we won't be able to play Shinobu for the final stage, because she will be drastically underleveled compared, say, to Travis. Okay, we should be able to bring down the gold bugs, right like so. Or no, whatever name they have. Val says, one of these days you're gonna accidentally smack Snake by mistake. That's alright, you've seen how he performs in Smash. He can take a blow or two. Dude is actually one of the heaviest characters on the roster, isn't he? I know he was in Brawl. Oh, I see a ramen shop. You could bet your bottom dollar we are visiting the ramen shop to see what offerings Bugjiro has for us today. Lady Bugbug is guarding this one. That's fine. And yeah, Val says, yeah, he's super tanky. He was like my go-to in Brawl. He was the good, first wave, third-party character. Juxtaposed quite nicely to Sonic, who was a really cool addition, like, thematically, but played in a really, really rough manner in Brawl. Though I've heard people say that, like, even in that game, if you could learn his moveset, like, perfectly, he was pretty solid. Starlight says, that reminds me. What was the inconvenience that caused Grasshopper to allow people to just unlock all the shirts immediately? I do not know. Hold on real quick, let me check. Let's see. Sorry, I'm looking for anything. Okay, so according to the No More Heroes subreddit, there was a bug that prevented people from getting all the shirts, so they made the unlock all button as a way to apologize to people who were affected by the bug. An update essentially erased progress towards unlocking or collecting shirts. It's very kind of them to throw something like that in then as a gesture of goodwill. And Val says the main problem with Sonic is that he doesn't really hit hard enough to be able to do anything with his speed. A bit like Sheik or Fox, difference being those two have actual hard-hitting moves. Right, or like Pikachu. A character who might be kind of hard to control, but has speed that they can use to great technical effect in certain scenarios. The difference being, Sonic's speed doesn't really allow him to do anything other than dodge. Usually dodge so quickly that he puts himself in harm's way again just by a different source almost immediately. Okay, so we're up against Sheepman Green this time, and I think we want to whittle down his companions as much as we possibly can before taking the fight to him directly, given how the last fight went. Oh, man. That is a lot of health these sheepmen have now, and I assume we're going to be fighting all 5 of them. Okay, and now let's just slow it down for a minute. There we go. MC says, turns out Sonic is a physic character in game. Or psychic. Nope, physic. Sorry. Long day, you know how it is. Is that all of them down? No, please tell me it's not reading an enemy I can't damage. Oh god. Oh god, no. Did the damn thing bug? Oh. So says no soft lock arena. Yeah, I know, right? Like, this is also one of a handful of Switch games I've had crash on me before. I mean, I get it. With the budget they had, you couldn't really work your way up to a perfectly polished release feasibly without just blowing resources you don't have. But this is, come on, man. It's the CIA stage, and this stage is bad enough as it is. Wait, there just might be a way out of this. What if we use Brian Buster's laser to move off-screen and attack the enemy, or where we think the enemy is? Nope, can't do it. Great. Well, looks like we have to load, so close the game. Oh, and remember, I didn't save after we got the medal and opened up the Hotline Miami gate, so we're gonna have to do that again. Oh. Think I'm getting stronger and stronger flashbacks to why I remember very intensely disliking this level. Just give it a minute, guys. We'll get caught up here. Sorry about that. Starlight says, yeah, this is the stage that kind of makes me not want to finish my New Game Plus playthrough. It's very bad. It's very bad, which sucks because the DLC mission is my favorite out of the whole game. I'm excited to get to it. I am. I've not played nor seen it before. And yeah, here we go. Or no, that bit is unlocked. Perfect. Oh, we did stop and save at the toilet. Never mind. And as I said before, the biggest black mark against this stage, aside from its bland design, is that it's very, very, very long. It's just enemy spawners and nothing else for like an hour to an hour and a half. I mean, I get that with the style of gameplay they were going for, they couldn't really do a lot of climactic feeling things, but at the very least you could avoid tedium, I think. We'll just run by all of the cardboard boxes and dead ends and the like, because we're not going to need any of it. Any of that money, I mean. Still feels so good to properly pull off a special or a charge attack combo and just send a bunch of elite enemies flying. There's not too many of the suckers here. It's probably less due to the fact that there's few enemy spawners left, and more due to the fact that we took out just about every enemy that had spawned on screen all at once back there. Now remember that the bug gates dive towards us when they explode now. They started doing that in stage 4, I want to say. There we go. That got it. Okay, just Ladybug Bug and Entourage, we can handle that. There it is. Perfect. Perfect. That ain't too bad. So how's your night going so far, chat? Everybody doing alright? If you guys happen to... I need to start including this as a tag, just in case people want to, or they want to signpost for it. Starlight says, I'm alright. Good to hear it. MC says, I spent the whole day debugging my game in 3 weeks on the libraries. Oh, nice. How far along is it in development? If you don't mind my asking. I should start including in the tags that these are technically AMA streams. Especially right now, if you guys have any questions at all for me about anything at all, please feel free to let me know. Just drop them in chat. I will be more than happy to talk about anything. Anything at all. Within reason, of course. As we wait to, like, recover our progress. Okay, so we're getting tossed around by Bargain Basement the Hand here. Or the wall, I think it was. Val asks, what is the purpose of a rubber duck? Either to populate rubber ponds, or to amuse? Ipsy says the engine took a long time. It's very early. I gotcha. Well, usually, establishing a really sound foundation is the most important thing in game development, if I'm correct, right? That prevents you from having to double back to address technological, or mechanical failures that may not be so evident early on in development later on, basically throwing a bunch of dev time out. See every BioWare project from the past few years, or Cyberpunk. And Starlight says, I'm very glad I played Alligator because I'd probably feel incredibly empty now otherwise. It's great to find games like that just really, put, wind beneath your sails. NSR kinda did that for me recently, as did No More Heroes 2. A great deal of fun. Ooh, Arirang Ramen. A deep Chiba masterpiece. Oriental-style spicy ramen. That looks good. All of the spicy ramen dishes look amazing to me. Okay, let's try this again. The jump slash that effectively acts as a homing attack is pretty handy, I have to say. For taking out weaker enemies, or just quickly pivoting our attention to larger ones. Damn the recovery time on our heavy attacks, though. There we go. Oh, we just leveled him this time. Alright, Starlight, take care. Thank you so much for joining us. I hope you're doing well and you have a wonderful day tomorrow. MC says, very true, and I got really annoyed at games that just do not run smoothly. Oh, yeah. Like, I would personally greatly prefer a game that runs consistently at, like, 30 FPS than one that just constantly oscillates wildly somewhere in the 30 to 60 range. You know what I mean? Consistency is key in presentation. There we go! And the checkpoint was right on the other side of the boss, of course. Val says, I've been enjoying Assassin's Creed Valhalla, to be honest. Really? Better than Odyssey, would you say? I mean, it's not a very high bar to say something's better than Odyssey, but I'm glad you've been enjoying it. Val says 30 FPS, yuck. I don't have much of a preference when it comes to frame rate. You guys who have hung around the channel long enough know I care way more about, like, art and, like, audio styles, like the real artistry that goes into designing a world, than, like, its technical execution, more often than not. Val says I like it more than Odyssey and Origins combined. That is a good thing. That is a very good thing. So what do these do? Oh, they just open these little sliding doors. Or automatic doors. It's a door puzzle! Yay! So at least our vision isn't going to be occluded. Thank you, CIA. Well, what's on the other side here? Oh, just another ambush. Gotcha. An army of buggy. Val says, why does the CIA building just feel like a giant Pokemon gym? Man, I wish it felt like a Pokemon gym. Those at least have some personality to them. You know what this feels like? This feels like if the corridors of a doctor's office, like not the waiting room, not the exam rooms, just like the utilitarian, bland-looking corridors spanning the complex, were fused with a kind of dilapidated 80s roller rink. That's the aesthetic vibe I'm getting here. Enemy generators are durable, but fortunately these aren't spawning any really nasty opponents. The worst we've had to put up with here is some of the shield bearers. Also, you guys have no idea how hard you have to try to make something in neon unappealing to me. But this stage has managed it. Nope, okay. So, there's not, like, hidden goodies down certain paths. It's just mandatory fight and not mandatory fight. Ambush and non-ambush. Alright. That's fair enough. Can we upgrade, by the way? Yes, we can. Level 14. There we go. And farewell, second enemy generator. Almost. There we go. Man, Travis's battery doesn't last for crap in this game, though, does it? Dr. Naomi's gonna have to work on that for the third game. There we go, just crank that. Huh. Well, we want to proceed to the right, or the left, obviously, right? Yeah, because there wasn't anything in the other room, just another ambush waiting. Remember, we still got 3 sheepmen to encounter. Ugh. At least, admittedly, this screen is not bad. This is actually kind of fun, like just plowing through a bunch of bog standard enemy generators with a very light traversal quote-unquote puzzle. Ipsy says, the idea behind my game and engine is to have mod support right on top of the engine and have the game modded in, so that whenever I make games, I can update the engine for all the games. Oh, that is so sick! Like, using the base game as a module in and of itself, kind of like, the way, it's not a perfect one-to-one comparison, but the way, say, Mountain Blade, Warband, or, Civilization treats its base games, or their base games. Is there anything over here? I'm sorry, I just have to clear these in case there's something. There's not. You just know they're going to hide a coin, or, a ramen shop or something in one of these side paths. It's a brilliant idea, though, MC. I'm really excited to see where you go with this. Oh, Lord. Well, this is a situation just made for the level 3 charge attack. Observe! 1, 2, 3! And it looks like a Mace Man spawns to fill the gap. Every time one of the weapon generator, or technically weapon generators, but bug generators goes down. Right? Yep, there it is. This will allow us to clear the last couple. Perfect. Well, our next 50 Blessings medal, and our next arcade machine. MC says, will you have time to discover Uplink before I do so, since I'm making a spiritual successor to that game? I will. It is on my list, believe me. He's silent, of course. I see. So I guess I'm supposed to find you. God, I love the Hotline Miami soundtrack so much. Huh? He's gone. What a shy dude, just like they say. But he cleared the way for us with his trademark bloody murder. And again, you'd find it hard to believe after this stage, but the final boss, as I remember, is a pushover. Val says, that ain't Jacket. No, sometimes he's depicted as wearing, the tiger mask. It's usually the rooster mask, but he's also associated with the tiger mask. Oh god, look at this. MC says, no, this stage is a true Sparks last level from Spyro. Except longer and less fun. Yeah, way less fun. Because Sparks' gameplay felt very reactive and kind of punchy. This just feels like they were stalling for time, and again, not due to any incompetence on their part. I think the No More Heroes dev teams are all insanely talented. They just kind of didn't know how to wrap a game like this up with something that felt appropriately climactic and met their shoestring budget, you know? Now that they've got a pretty big budget, relatively speaking, for the third game, I'm really hopeful for what they can create. Oh, checkpoint. Okay, so that'll be the way out, ultimately. Yeah, this is just basically wall-to-wall enemy generators and ambushes. Again, it's not bad, it just gets very old very quickly, and they decided to make it the longest stage in the game, which, in my mind, is a very, very bad call. I always enjoy seeing these little turrets. They're just pesky enough. And 5. There we go. They have a very clearly telegraphed 5-hit combo, and only the 5th hit actually drains a level of your special meter. I do like that. So I guess we just gotta run around until we can take out 4 generators placed around the periphery, right? Yep, here come a couple elites to back them up. Oh, but the range you get on that level 3 special is just so good! The throw also feels very satisfying. Like, just the haptics of it. Amazing. Or, sorry, the visuals, I should say. They're technically not haptics. We ain't that advanced in Travis Strikes Again. All we've got in the haptic department is a very standard, very simple, rumble. Okay, so this time the shield bearers are coming in. I do appreciate that they spawn in, like, different enemy types, in different iterations of, like, the same generator challenge. Like, each generator in each quadrant spawned in a different type of elite to act as backup. That's kind of nice. Oh, Sheepman Purple now? The one with the missiles. Yeah. At least he got caught in the blast. That's all we care about here. I do like the different aesthetics and armaments all the different sheepmen have. I think after this we have yellow and pink, right? Yellow had the, no, orange. Yellow, right, sorry. Yellow had the, harness of exhaust pipes, like Smoking King. Pink had the, arcane sigils it used, to assail us with dark magic. Val says, I guess speaking of haptics, have y'all heard the news about Valve's newest project? No, I haven't. Please enlighten us. I mean, MC probably has, but I haven't. Well, that's 3 down, just 2 more to go. God almighty, the CIA is long. Travis must be in just an incredible amount of discomfort anytime he moves, walks especially. Given that, again, to the best of our knowledge, this man has never wiped his butt in his entire life. Okay, so these yellowish-orange tiles act as teleporters, and I think for the most part we don't want to touch them, unless we want to be sent back to, like, the main concourse for the map. Or no, it teleports us around. Right. So we need a 50 Blessings medal to activate the arcade machine. Val says they're working with OpenBCI to implement brain control interfaces to basically make Sword Art Online. Oh, man. That is so cool. That brings us all closer to realizing humanity's collective dream of basically becoming Viper. Able to shape and define worlds with the power of our minds. Let's just follow all these paths around and see where they lead. Oh, that is a bunch of bugs. Not sure why you'd spawn nothing but these, though. Is there more or less a defined, support unit? Now we've got bug gates, okay. A lot of them. What next? the mace men. This is a pretty damn long gauntlet. But that's it. Okay. What's gonna attack us here? Do y'all see what I mean? Like, this isn't necessarily bad. It is, however, just extremely tedious. Val says, I mean, in terms of the medical market alone, it could be crazy. Helping pre-amputee patients to see how their life had changed before they opt into the surgery. Yeah, I've not thought of that, but there's a lot of good that could be done through technologies like that. As well as, of course, the creation of some absolutely phenomenal, entertainment experiences. Extra life. Given the way this stage works, we may actually need that at some point. Remember, the only thing that's killed us so far has been Mr. Doppelganger's pursuers. Because I'm bad at controlling Travis in the tight confines of that neighborhood. Okay, now, where's our medal? Oh, hold on. A new Viper single dropped recently. I'm gonna need to check this out really quickly just to see what it is. One moment. It's called Viper. Money has changed in the Kane game. As in cocaine, of course. Oh, well, there's the 50 Blessings medal. It also says some people can opt to get amputations if they've had really traumatic injuries to limbs, right? So having the option to effectively try before you buy can be quite the influence. Yeah, very, very helpful and reassuring, no doubt. Well, there's our checkpoint. So, just because I'm interested in filling the void with something of substance, and I've got next to nothing to add about this stage, from a critical perspective, or just like as a viewer, what do you guys think of this stage compared to the others? It really does feel like it kind of phoned in, right? Like, I really appreciate the Hotline Miami influences. But I at the same time, I wish they had done more with it, like, especially from a gameplay perspective. Like, maybe if all the enemies died in 1 or 2 hits, maps were much smaller, and we also died in 1 or 2 hits, replicating the core gameplay of that series. I don't know. Yeah, Valve says stage is lame. It is. It's a shame, because it's a very creative game, and I don't know what happened. Valve says mega massive enemy rush. Did they even add a new enemy? No, they did not. They just made extant enemies tankier, that's all. There we go, 50 Blessings medal. Now we gotta work our way back around to the, Val says, so it's literally just a gauntlet of shit you've done before. Unfortunately, that's right. Right down to, every mini-boss from earlier in the game making additional appearances here. Which is a real shame, because the rest of the game is really creative, and a great deal of fun. Hello. Greetings are important, you know? They cheer people up. But right now, I'm trembling with rage. He's disappeared again. Gone, without a trace. I passed by you again. You may not remember, but your BO is intense. I couldn't forget it. I don't remember. I can't take it anymore. That smell has taken over the room. I cannot abide. He's wandering around. According to the info I've just received, he's waiting for you. I don't know what he wants, but he's really sensitive to your presence. Do this right. Like that one time. I was watching from the shadows. I can never forget the shock of what I saw. There will be no next time. Don't forget it. You'll end up at the bottom of the sea. This place reeks of death. These guys are desensitized to it. Okay. Path is open to leg 4 out of 5 of the CIA. Notice we've not seen a single piece of, like, office equipment or space dedicated to specific uses, but this is CIA HQ, apparently. Really, really Spartan. Okay. Let's get ready for Sheepman Yellow. Val says, and they use porta-potties indoors. What the fuck, CIA? No, they use wireframe porta-potties. Even better. Okay, so... Oh, are we about to go on some pachinko shit? Hold on. Hold on. I'm looking up a map for this, because if we miss a ramen shop, I'm going to be livid. Hold on. We're getting there, just a minute. Come on. Alright, I guess we'll just have to brave it. I'm feeling 3. At least there aren't any new chips or anything like that around here, as far as I can tell. Couldn't agree more, Travis. Couldn't agree more. And I guess, yeah, we can't attack or we get thrown back. And have to fight a bunch of these guys. Alright. Whatevs. Oh, I see what we're gonna have to do. We're gonna have to grind this until we determine, like, the golden path, so to speak. God, but there's a lot of them in there. All this for what amounts to, like, trial and error? Alright. That says mayhap you simply drop down. Yeah, no, there was a barrier preventing me from doing so. But, oh, I said at least there's no new chips, but bam, look at all the new chips we're gonna have to pass by. That's alright, though. That's alright. It'll get us out of there. And here's Sheepman Yellow. Just straight dropping napalm. Yikes. At least his attacks are reasonably easy to dodge. Good, good. This should do it. Yeah! Okay, so we missed a couple chips, but that's alright. The moveset we have is perfect for now. We're going to drop a save and then get ready for the last leg. Yeah, and Val's got it right. He says, my guess is each path you might take would generate a different array of yellow pads. You just happen to pick the path that has a direct link to the boss. Right, exactly. And I am okay with that. The others would have yielded one of 2 chips or an Azteca Stone. The Azteca Stones we can exchange for certain t-shirts. But we've already got a Hollow Knight graphic tee. Why on earth would we want anything else? Oh, and here's where we put together everything we learned. That's kind of clever, I guess. So you activate the blue pads to open the path to the generators, the purple pads to actually be able to see the path to the generators, and the yellow pads, I suppose, to throw yourself back onto the main course of progression. Or not. Or not. Huh. Okay, we'll have to destroy that one from behind. MC asks, but did we learn anything? And Val says, never. I refuse to learn. Did we learn anything in this stage? I don't think so. We learned touch bright shiny lights, game go forward sometimes. Oh, whoa, whoa, whoa. The Zuckerbugs are really, really tough. And yeah, at this point, I believe they are the most elite enemy in the game. MC says, we just learned that Val refuses to learn. That is something, I suppose, you're right. Now we just need to find the damn arcade machine so we can conclude the kind of weird Hotline Miami plot and get ready to take on the boss. Which is actually foreshadowed kind of decently throughout the game, now that I think about it. So that's something the endgame has going for it. There we go, now we can access this sucker. So we have to take them out in a predetermined order! God damn! And of course some of them electrocute us. Of course they do. Val says Hotline plotline. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong, I love to see the Hotline Miami cast here, I do. Oh, and there's our arcade machine, so we're home free. Hey dude, good to see you again. Do you know me? Nope, but we got a new cheesecake in. I highly recommend it. It's chock full of tasty ricotta cheese. Goes well with the cheap wine. I don't handle wine very well. Recommend a beer and I'll take it. We don't have beer here. Don't talk about beer. It reminds me of him. Who's him? The guy with the jacket? That's enough small talk. Time to close up shop. Get on out. How can I meet up with Jacket? Can't you just leave him in peace? He's really exhausted. Not like worked overtime tired, or drank too much tired, or orgy tired. Nothing like that. Every muscle, every bone, all the blood, and even every cell in his body is exhausted. He's completely worn down. Basically, he's looking for a place to die, right? I don't know. Try asking him if you see him. He's waiting for you just past here. What? Travis, watch your back. He'll hunt you down. Shop's closed. So if you're like me, right around now you'd be thinking, oh, that sounds dope. Before the final boss, we're going to get to, like, fight Jacket from Hotline Miami? If I recall, not exactly. No, unfortunately. Bell says moon's wet. Yeah, no, I'm really disappointed we don't get a brawl in this style. But if I recall correctly, what we do get is okay. Oh god, no. Ambush! What else would it be? Oh wait, we probably want to use the third path from the yellow tile corridor. Yeah, this area is way more linear than it looks. So we want to go over here. Or is this where we got the metal? Yeah, no, this is where we got the metal. Never mind. And now we get to throw down with one of our last bug gauntlets, thankfully. But notice, our health is getting low by virtue of the game just spamming high-end enemies at us non-stop. There we go. That got him. So the Travis doppelgangers are really nasty if they're allowed to get their gun attack off. But otherwise, not too bad. Couple more turrets, we can handle that. Oh my god. That is a lot of bugs. That is a Bethesda level of bugs. Did we open the way? Yes, we did. Oh, and thank God we get to top off our health. Awesome, awesome. So it's just one more sheep between us and the final boss. Sheepman Pink, one more time. Okay, what's this gonna be? Well, I see enemies already, so... Oh, God. One more ambush for the road, I suppose. Oh boy. Oh, they're spawning the detonators now. Nasty, nasty, but we got them. There we go, now we just gotta clean up, right? Oof. Oh, they deal damage like you wouldn't believe. At least the shield bearers go down really quickly. The drill bugs are, I think they're called gold bug or something like that, are surprisingly tough. Or no, Lind bug, I think. Are surprisingly resilient. This is Goldbug, the knight. Okay, so these turrets are way more frail than Johnson's, even though they've been fully upgraded. Because they only take one heavy attack, whereas his required two, one and all. Oh, still not done? Oh god, no, it's a couple of the machine gun wielding Travis impersonators. And down they go. Oh, one more Zuckerbug for the road, alright. This must be the last time they're assuming, or they're intending us to face a lot of these enemies. Very good sign indeed. And now Sheepman Pink. Who's having to fight us in an area extremely unsuited to his particular talents. Oof, Lord. Alright, we're almost there, almost there. Oof. Okay, we should be ready for the boss then. Finally, one last bowl of ramen for the road. What's it gonna be? The ultimate ramen, outside of the DLC anyway. Ooh, Katsura ramen. Katsura area represent. The soy sauce and chili oil just come together to just, damn! We lose all descriptive power. That must be one fine bowl of soup. Alright, let's take, I believe, one final dump for the main game. Apparently the save system for this series was inspired by the fact that, according to an interview, based on what I've read, Suda51, the original No More Heroes director, described the game as like him just taking a massive dump, and everything from the second game being what was left in the colon of his mind after the initial dump. His words, paraphrased, not mine. Which is, it's a very unique way to describe one's work. So this is the bottom floor. The fact that you're waiting down here means shit's about to go down, doesn't it? Or do you just want my autograph? Oh yeah, they're looking for you. What are you gonna do now? I feel the bloodlust coming from you. If I make even one false move, you're totally ready to kill my ass. Looks like I've gone and stepped into the danger zone, huh? If possible, I'd rather not have to take your head off. So yeah, how about we make friends? MC says so, the man has shit taste. Yeah, apparently. Well anyway, call me sometime if you feel like it. You don't really smell like a gamer to me, but let's play something super fucked up. Let's just go back to that world of blood, to fight in that endless battle. Once we grow tired of it, let's have a beer. Let's drink till we got no more fucks to give, till we lose all hope. Then if you still feel like dying, let's meet again. Oh, really? Awesome. It's a deal. Yeah, sure. That's the culmination of the Hotline Miami plotline. That's it. Does this mean that Jacket will be a boss in the third game? I don't know. That'd be great, but I doubt it. And so forward along the lengthiest hallway in existence to the final boss of the main game, who has actually been with us the entire time. And it's got a really cool design at that. I love the arena, too. Yep, it's White Sheep Man. The, program who had given us all the information on the games and their various inhabitants. Val says, I knew it. Well, yeah, you knew the sheep were here for some reason. Dr. Juvenile. We meet at last. I've got a whole bunch of feedback about the Death Drive Mark II. I got some pretty harsh stuff to say about each individual game, too. Yeah, so this thing, the entire time, has been what's left of Dr. Juvenile, I think. The Ukrainian child prodigy who developed the Death Drive. And who also served as our tutorial. But, yeah, this is the form she's taking. But first, let me just say this. You're a genius. A true creator. I feel like I do kind of understand your disappointment. I could sense a lot of regret and anger at having put all that hard work into that console and those games, only to never have them released. Val says, I mean, I knew there was a reason all the bosses were also sheep. Those were just the mini-bosses. Each of the games, the main games that we had to play through on the Death Balls, had a really distinct, final boss who was the protagonist or, focus character of that game. I want to play more your games, Juvenile. Come back to the real world with me. No need to shut yourself away in the digital world like this. Release the data and let it out. Return to your body. You're starting battle program? Whatever. You don't get a lot of opportunities for a true last boss fight, after all. Okay, so she's turned into some kind of skeletal, sheep goddess, seraph thing, with a staff and halo formed out of pure hard light, and we're going to have to beat this thing down and suplex it. Let's go. Oh, and if you look in the back, there are, cybernetic elements, fused into the back of the skull. That's quite nice. So make this fun, Doc. Dr. Juvenile is the easiest boss in the game, I believe. Let me see if that holds true. Ooh, look at the arena. So she's got an obscene amount of health, but is also quite vulnerable. Oh wait, no, sorry, she doesn't have as much health as Johnson did. Never mind. Ooh! Okay, so explosives are the order of the day. I love how all of her attacks are based around, prismatic effects, though. That is very cool. Now the perspective changes. Okay, okay. None of these attacks are really doing much to us, but... Can we, drive the bubble back into her? Without being damaged? Maybe? Almost down to her last bar of health already. Oh. Okay, so that bubble's just going to be tracking us. Oh, no, it detonates when it gets close. I see. Not like it deals a ton of damage, but good to know. Not entirely sure what these do, but we want to get rid of them. Oh no. We dodged whatever that was. Oh, we've got like a techno remix of the series theme. That's what I'm talking about. And goodbye, Dr. Juvenile. Do we even get to suplex her? Or is that it? Dr. Juvenile, why the fuck do I have to kill you? Why do you have to try to kill me? I just don't get it. Maybe the Death Drive Mark II's anti-intruder program is loading up or something. I don't know. But it just doesn't feel right. When I cut you down, it felt like cutting through a cloud. All this emotion flooded into me. There was nothing but sadness. You've been burning sadness like fuel just to keep living. I know that now. I don't need a big old speech, but these are your last words. Leave me something special. A farewell poem. In the human world, the time for games has ended. Nothing binds us now. And yeah, she had some really interesting attacks, but that was it. That was the final battle. Not phenomenal. Better than Jasper Bat. Not as good as Jean or Henry, I would say. MC says, I feel like every game wants to do cool graphic abstracts in System Shock 2, but System Shock 2 is too special to be emulated. Well, no, this is just an art style that worked for this particular battle, I think, and it worked insanely well. I love the old school 80s/Atari evocative visuals used for Dr. Juvenile's arena, at the least. The rest of the CIA stage is pretty bad. But oh, and we do get a special chip from her. Val says System Shock 2 is a gem. Yeah, from what I've seen, it's really good. The Dendrobium. Maybe that allows us to create her little homing bubble or something. Oh, and she's been in an animus the entire time. Or is an animus? The hell is this? Guess I'm just supposed to press this button, huh? Well, this is the climax. You know something's gonna go down, that's the way it always is. There's no turning back for us now. And we've done a pretty good job keeping the players happy, too. Okay, Juvenile, let's see this ending you want to show the players. Give it to me with feeling. MC says Brady's not finished System Shock 2 and never saw the end. No, I've never even played it, but I've seen a good deal of it. So we're digitized inside the digital world that we just kind of walked into from the CIA. And it's... Oh. Shoot, an actual, pixel-based environment. I forgot about this. Did I just teleport? Where am I? You're late, Travis. I've been waiting. Have a seat. This is so cool. Are you John Winter? Yeah, you know me? I got your autograph when I was a kid. You came to Comic-Con, right? Yeah. Comic-Con 1989. So that boy, that was you, huh? I was wearing a Death Drive t-shirt. Yeah, I remember you. That was a specially made promo t-shirt. Must have been a real bitch to get. I got it off an old man at the arcade. Traded it for my Fukusaku t-shirt. This is what happens when you try to read and you've been reading for 2 days straight. You got good taste. Made it all this way. Nice job getting here, Travis. So, is this Mars? Yeah, pretty nice view, right? Oh, the 3D printer! I've been to the moon, too, but staring at space gets really boring really quickly. At least there's weather here. Things change a little day to day. So what do you even do here? I don't do anything. Every day I drink 3 cups of coffee, and at night I have a beer. What about food? I sit in a human body, so I don't actually need to eat or drink. But even so, human desire is a hell of a drug. The joy of eating is pretty much the center of my life here. There's a valley up ahead. I hunt these huge creatures there. It's all pretty thrilling. Catch one and I can eat for a month. Got some smoked meat right here. Wanna try some? Nah, I'm cool. So, life on Mars. You really seem to be enjoying it. It's very quiet and quite fascinating. That's why I'm against the government's plans to immigrate here. That'd mean the end of my quiet, peaceful life. They'd build convenient, comfortable cities to live in, and it would basically be the same as living back on Earth. Screw that noise. So that's why you came here alone, huh? Like a sort of guard, protecting this place. I mean, it's not quite that grandiose, but I simply get rid of intruders. I'm an intruder myself. That depends on your answer, young Travis. For you, I'd welcome you here with open arms. So why don't you rid yourself of all that fate and destiny bullshit and come live a beautiful life here? That wouldn't be so bad now, would it? Sounds lovely. If I close my eyes, I can picture a different life. Like a perfect, ideal life. So sparkly and shiny, I get all dizzy and shit. I see. That's so like you. Sorry. But I can't just rid myself of that baggage, like you said. I'll be carrying this shit with me till I die. I decided that a long time ago. How about a drink before you go? What's this? Specially made Martian mist coffee. This is a weird machine. It's all in the pipes. And it's just straight up a hookah. Okay. Sure, why not? That's very bad for you, but go ahead, gentlemen. Ah, that's good. That's a damn fine cup of coffee. It's about time to go. There's only one way to leave. Die. Die? Goodbye, young Travis. Never come back here again. Don't go off into dangerous places. Didn't you get told that as a kid? This area is off limits. Sorry, but you're not allowed here. Dangerous and off limits, huh? That's why good little boys have to leave. You too, right? Young John. See you again sometime. Bring peanut butter. Come empty-handed, and I'll kill you again. Well, that was a beautiful, trippy little sequence. And credits! So that's the main game, everything but the special stage cleared. What do we think, friends? I think, for what it is, a side game intended purely to, kind of test the waters and see how viable No More Heroes as an intellectual property was, it was pretty damn solid. Like, I get the distinct sense that, given that it's a simple, very mechanically unintricate, like, brawler, I should not have enjoyed this anywhere near as much as I did. But the constant introduction of new mechanics, settings, and an endless train of self-referential humor really helped carry the game, along with No More Heroes. Traditionally stellar design, or physical, like, character and environment design ethos. It's just a pretty game that sounds quite lovely, that underneath the hood is very simple, but not deeply flawed beyond, like, the player's, recovery times for a lot of attacks and animations being so great that you feel like a lot of hits you take aren't exactly your fault, and enemies not flinching maybe quite as easily as they should. That aside, it's pretty solid. The bosses were fairly varied, given the limited mechanics they had to work with. I still have to give nods to Smoking King and 8 Hearts for being the best in the game by a wide margin. The worst fight, I'd say, is still Triple Star, if only because you're not really given the tools necessary to fight him in a way where you feel as though many of his attacks can be avoided successfully by the time you reach him. That could just be the downside of being the first boss, though. Val says, what a goofy game, and I should nap. Alright, man. Thank you so much for joining us. We're gonna just dig into the DLC stage after this. I probably won't finish it tonight, but we're going to take a look and see what we've got. Yeah, this is a good game. Not a great game, but good. And I am so happy that it managed to give us No More Heroes 3, which should be out before too long. Alright, Val, good night to you too, sir. Thank you for joining us. And that's it for now. Until I suppose we load up the DLC, right? So how was it? Tell me about your trip to Mars. Oh no, this is Gene speaking. More importantly, what? No souvenirs? There's gotta be some kind of Mars specialty stuff, right? Martian cat food would have been nice. Well, I got this. So you did bring me something then? Well, hurry the hell up and feed it to me. I can't promise it won't be nasty. This shit is delicious. The spiciness is perfect. It's hot enough to burn right through my gut. Okay. And hey, it's my favorite character from the original games. And yeah, Shinobu is more or less my favorite at this point.
This is where you've been hiding out. I've been looking for you.
A man needs his hideout, you know?
It looks like you've cleared the latest game. Next up, the assassins await. Master.
Including, apparently, Kimmy and Destroy Man again, which I hope they don't reuse a lot of bosses from the earlier games, but seeing those two again would be... sounds like it'll be a fun time.
You're a funny broad. If you think you're up to it, then bring it on.
And yeah, Cold Rice, that was the theme from,
You just call Charlotte a fucking mutt?
Gold Dragon Grand Prix. MC says 'twas interesting to discover. Yeah, but we're not done. Fingers crossed the DLC is gonna be even better. Starlight earlier did say it was their favorite stage in the game. Any thoughts on the game as a whole, MC, as we wait for the credits, the real credits to roll? MC says it's a game a bit on the cheap side. Oh, yeah, it was made on a virtually non-existent budget. So you can't really compare it evenly to the first two entries, but I will say, when you consider the scale, the relative scale, right, how much less they had to work with here to get a third game off the ground, they did really well. And I'm hoping that since the third game seems to have a pretty sizable budget, like a pretty damn large one actually, that we're going to get, like, you know, a crazy over-the-top game with, like, damn near 24, like, top-notch boss fights. Fingers crossed, right? We can dream. And we can also hope that Kimmy and Destroy Man are the only returning bosses. MC says it doesn't seem to betray the series as a whole. Certainly not, no. And the main downside is the lack of polish. Yeah. Just things that would have taken more time and money, right? Epic had personnel, NIS. MC says, good game on limited resources. Yeah, it shows that the people behind this series really know their stuff. Like, really know their stuff. Best stage, in my mind, out of the base game is easily Golden Dragon Grand Prix, and the worst is the CIA. Both of those are head and shoulders above and below the rest of the game's offerings, respectively. Well, I say that. Life is Destroy is also pretty good. It's pretty close to a GDGP. There's just something about, like, the true crime story and FMV inspiration that are really charming to me. And here's all of those properties they borrowed graphics from for the t-shirts. Whew. This game's soundtrack is also beautiful. Far more engaging and varied than the first couple of game soundtracks. I appreciate that. It's not just all punk music. Hey, Mai, good to see you. Thank you for dropping by. Glad to hear from you as ever. We've been having fun. Yeah, it's been a long, busy day, just the way I like them. We're not done, though. We got about another hour, so if you'd care to swing by or just have us on in the background, you're certainly welcome to. Now let's see what this DLC stage is all about. Oh, hello. Hello there, untextured model. Are you going to be my passage into the DLC?
Fucking around. This isn't a game, you know.
Oh yeah, Maya, this is the most recent No More Heroes game.
Seriously, what the hell, man? Huh? Where is this? Open up your eyeballs, dude. We're in development. For what game? Like I'm gonna tell you that.
It's the sequel, obviously. We know it's coming out this year, we just don't know what time. And yeah, there's the No More Heroes emblem. Again, they're quite transparent with their desire to use this just as a stepping off point for a return to the series. And yeah, we got a new playable character, but they're not leveled properly, so yeah. Again, this man's butt must be so uncomfortable. We've been following him across the series now for about 6 years. Hasn't wiped once. Not one time. Poor man. So we've got one more text adventure to plow through. Again, skipping these because they just kind of disrupt the flow of a stream. So, MC, apparently this DLC has the... Maya says no longer has a butt crack, probably not, no. This DLC is based around, kind of Midway games, to the best of my knowledge. Not the company Midway Games, but like traditional, fair or carnival games of the type you would see in like the good old Midwestern US. Oh, there's Henry again, who is now a villain once more. Doesn't matter here. As he says, just how much did he save in that toilet? A lot. Between every text adventure and every time we dive into the death drive. So yeah, Henry's now part of some obscure order intending to kill Travis because reasons. Oh, Shinobu's a martial arts instructor now for at-risk youth. That's really cool, honestly. Almost there. We're almost to Killer Marathon. Masked Wrestlers, Black Hole and Wormhole, alright. Or they're... Oh, they're aliens, never mind. Maybe you set up to the next game? Oh, Death and Drive finally attempt to attack us, and we destroy them instantly, whatever. And a superhero. And they become a yokai, sure. And they compete in a video game that Suda51 had a hand in designing back in the 90s? Alright, sure. Oh, it's Travis's daughter. His child is a VTuber, apparently. And they're living in Death Metal's mansion. That's a nice throwback, I suppose. My assistant dad is smelly because he won't wipe his butt. Not for years. Not for... By the time the third game takes place, it's going to be a decade. It's gonna be a decade and the man will barely be able to walk. Death Metal Jr., okay, sure. Isn't it great that they're taunting us with all of these events that'd be great fights otherwise? Or great fights in a more traditional game. Maya says, 10 years of butt crust, the Travis story. And then she says, what you don't understand, Japanese toilet. No. Travis lives in California. Santa Destroy is explicitly stated to be a town in Southern California. Now wait, no, that toilet has some kind of funky little control panel, so but he doesn't use it! He doesn't use the control panel. So he's nasty. Alright, Killer Marathon. Let's see what this new game is all about. There can only be one. Run, dance, kill. Proceed to hell or stop and die. Kill all of the runners and become the champion of this marathon of mass murder. Can you survive this game of hell? The surprising thing about this game is that this is the sport of the not-too-distant future. A marathon where you kill people. That's right, you play the hero of a crazy-ass sport in which you run a marathon around the surface of a pinball machine, killing people all over the place. So why does everyone kill each other? Because this is a government-sanctioned sport established for the purpose of having criminals kill each other off. The Killer Marathon course comprises several pinball boards fused together, and the race starts as the runners are shot out like pinballs. The course is full of traps and other rival runners all trying to kill you, and provides a super exciting, edge-of-your-seat gaming experience. So it's like The Purge, more or less. As with normal marathons, there are disqualifications based on lap time, and if you fail to make it to a checkpoint within the allotted time, a gigantic pinball rolls through and crushes all of the runners. Can you survive the Killer Marathon? I would imagine so, yes. Okay. Silverface is our opponent here, and that is an underwhelming looking design, isn't it? All-star MFL quarterback in the year 2280, received a top salary of $120 million per year. Extremely popular with the ladies, he was constantly embroiled in scandals, and in one time he gathered all 25 of his girlfriends and killed them off all at once. Oh god. After that, he escaped overseas and joined a group of violent mercenaries, later being arrested and made to debut in the Killer Marathon. Okay, so there's more of a sports theme here. Alright. That's interesting. Can we level up again after defeating Dr. Juvenile? No. And Jean has not dropped us another line, has she? Nope. Okay then, time to dive on into, the brand new stage, Killer Marathon.
I'll be back.
Let's view this glorious startup screen one last time. How on earth these games are still functional if they were all supposed to be interconnected and we, brought down Dr. Juvenile and the core data? I've no idea, but... Oh, yo, that was a digitized, vocal introduction in the style of the original No More Heroes. That's pretty sick. Spanner says, okay, interfering desk lamp removed. Welcome back, we are diving into the DLC for the first time. I really like this theme. So is this going to be like a cavalcade of mini-bosses? Like actual unique enemies? That would be a lovely time. Spanners asks, is there much DLC? 2 bonus characters and this 1 additional stage. Which is what I'm really here for. I'm looking forward to this. Especially given this phenomenally funky intro song. Okay, are we ready to dive on in then? Killer Marathon. Let's do it! So the whole thing takes place on the surface of basically a gigantic pinball machine. Hey, it's the long-awaited DLC. Now show me a good time. Welcome to the world of Killer Marathon. 42,195 kilometers of straight-up murder. Now run, fight, kill. Dance the insane waltz of slaughter. Start here at Odaiba and head for the goal at the Akasaka Studio. There awaits the undefeated champion, Silverface. Hey, Challenger, buck up. This additional stage is long. We did you a favor and cranked up the difficulty to the max, too. That means traps are everywhere and one-hit deaths are a thing, too. Gamers these days like it super hard. And check out the rad level design. But don't you worry your pretty little head, because sweet is stupid easy. Okay. Alright then, on your mark, 3, 2, 1. Yep. So you've raised the bar for me, huh? Bitchin'. Travis is a better person now, but all of his dialogue is still very, very, cringy. I'm gonna turn Silverface blood red. Let's do it. So, in just over 3 minutes, we need to make it, just a little over 2 miles down. And apparently there's a couple ramen shops in here, so we gotta make sure we check those out, you know? I like this, very colorful. Looks kind of like an environment from one of their Persona games. So we just gotta stay clear of the flippers, because it looks like no good will come of treating with them for any protracted period of time. Huh. The enemies are very durable here. They're not necessarily harder, but they are durable. Bunny says, I come back from discovering that there's a Shine Sprite replaces All Stars mod for Mario Galaxy 2. I think I might, I think I ought to get it myself that if I ever play that game. I mean, feel free, but... Again, more or less the same thing, just a texture swap, I think. Oh, we've got enemy generators acting as stationary turrets instead. That's new. Oh, they're shooting out pinballs, because of course they are. That is adorable. Somebody's model was freaking out. Did you see that gold bug, gliding along after us? Okay, so enemies are super durable. Maybe a little faster, too? They don't seem to be stronger, just faster. I agree with MC, too. Ristar's absolutely fantastic little title. Music's getting more and more intense. This is bonkers. And we may actually die here. That's awful. Oh, thank God we made it. Checkpoint! MC says also my avatar, right. Who's this gonna be? Oh, it's Grandpa. What words of wisdom has he for us this evening? If there's a side road, take it. That's the binding spell of gameplay. Maya says, this is bonkers and we may actually die here is a good descriptor for grad school. Oh, amen, amen. Well, it's a great descriptor for grad school now. You may end up wasting time, but sometimes you'll find some really cool shit. Destroy every breakable object. That's a basic rule of gameplay. Don't go expecting rewards, but sometimes you can score a huge bonus. Okay, thank you, Grandpa. This is a step up from you just rambling on about the best kinds of cake in an earlier stage. I will take this. So we don't have to defeat the pinball launchers. But there still seems to be good reason to, like, try and take them out kind of incidentally. Is there going to be a new song for every stage of the DLC? That is amazing. Oh, we've got mediocre singing and really thick autotune, two of my favorite things. Oh man, the aesthetics of this stage are just made for me. Ridiculous, over-the-top game show, extremely loud, like, almost overproduced music. Right up my alley. Damn, pinballs, go away. Go away. Alright, now these we probably do want to try to take out ASAP. Oh, two Zuckerbugs at once. That is some heavy firepower. Oh god, there's just so many environmental hazards here, that's the thing. Woo! God, my health. We're almost there, though. This is the last encounter of this leg of the stage. If only the pinballs damage the enemies as well. I don't think they do. There we go, though. We got it. We got it. Made it in. Checkpoint. Oh, and a proper checkpoint this time. A bad feeling is usually spot on. They come with certain omens, too. Don't ignore them. Rules can sometimes be broken, but a code must be upheld always. Don't let Grandpa down. I won't. So I'm seeing a large open area up ahead. I take it that's going to be host to something special, right? It's an airport terminal set. And it's a bunch of buggy. Okay, let's just focus on getting rid of these things for starters. Oh, and the goal is very, very short. Or very, very near. We just have to make it across the terminal. Oh wait, no, we have to smash through the kiosks. 1 second. There we go. Oh, even the regular obstacles are pretty durable in these stages. There we are. And we're not even destroying them, we're just causing them to recede into the ground. Alright, what's the rub here? What's the gimmick? Okay, so pinball dispensers that we can't actually destroy. That's bound to be tricky. Are these... No, these aren't solder bugs. Forget the name of these units. They hardly ever pose a significant threat, so I tend to forget them, or rather, I just get them confused with all of the other little, fairly wiry humanoid bugs. Next. Okay, one of the knights. And one of the, faux Travii. Oh, running low on time. Gotta make relatively short work of these suckers. There we go. Got it. And we made it. Not to the end of the stage, certainly, just to the next set of sound stages, right? Bunny says when Mario holds up the shine in the mod, it says you got a star. I genuinely flinched. Well, yeah, they probably weren't going to change that. Just a simple texture mod. You've reached level 2. This is a time attack area with a bonus area. Hurry, it's set up like a proper Western. Just like part 3 of that one super famous series of movies about time travel. What? Western, that reminds me of a certain game. What memories, huh? But this is no time to reminisce. Are they thinking of Red Dead Redemption? Or maybe Gun? Okay, so we've flown back in time. Let's do this shit. Oh, they got a stack of stones here, too. Pinball dispensers are so durable, it's not really worth the trouble destroying them. More often than not. As he says, original game for the win. Yeah. Okay, we can use our charge attack to just smash right through the shield bearers. Make a pretty good time here. But we've got to remember this is a time attack, so we probably want to move as quickly as possible, no matter what the timer says. At least the pinballs aren't going to be just omnipresent here, like always barreling our way like they were earlier. They'll still hit us pretty often, but just not constantly. Oh my god. Problem is, now they've just loaded the arena with pretty powerful ranged enemies. And they could disrupt my attacks, and they keep spawning. This game in particular is also very fond of spawning enemies in that fashion. Like, there will be a massive pool of 20-some-odd you have to take care of, but they'll spawn them 2 or 3 at a time. So instead there's just this tide that never recedes. There we go. Next. Elevators are dangerous. They make your ears pop. Find the stairs. Okay. Don't resign yourself to the minority. You must know the righteousness of the majority to win this battle. Prepare for what comes. Okay, Grandpa. Thank you. Bug Extra was so helpful for just a couple stages, then he went right back to his old ways, didn't he? So I guess we want to stay away from anything that'll elevate us. Maybe that's a hint as to how to access the bonus stage? No idea. Oh god. Oh, well, that took care of Zuckerbug. What on earth is that back there? Some kind of battery pack? Turret? Oh, something that gave us more time, I see. Okay, and this is going to spit us out over here. Yeah. Let's just keep smashing our way through these barriers. Oh yeah, they each give us 30 additional seconds. That's really, really good, actually. Let's make sure we get through the Lin bug really quickly. There just seems to be the one, right? Scores of turrets all of a sudden, isn't there? Which, I mean, is good. I'm glad to see them getting more use than they did in the base game. What do we think of this stage so far, folks? I do really enjoy it. Changes up the baseline formula in a interesting but not overly intrusive way. It's not requiring me to learn a whole new skill set or anything like that, just apply the one I already possess in a slightly different manner. I like that. No! No. Oh, that blew us back quite a ways. Yikes. Oh, the music accelerates when we drop below 1 minute remaining. I see, I see. Okay, let us through, let it see. MC says, I think it's a well-crafted series of stages. It really is. It's a lot of fun. Never talk yourself up. If you must, only do it to a close few. Especially don't do it on social media. It makes you look like a dick. That's actually pretty good advice, Grandpa. Thank you. Be wary of celebrities, lest you end up gazing upon some creepy-ass selfies. Slightly less useful advice, Grandpa, but appreciated. Alright, so this is just going to be, judging by the timer, in the very short distance, a tremendous combat arena. Mine says ass selfies? I mean, I imagine Travis has taken some pretty creepy ass selfies. Some medically concerning ass selfies, but yes, maybe. I have a feeling we want to destroy all of these white discs. Not just to gain as much time as possible, but maybe to unlock that bonus stage. Alright, so we've got hordes of turrets. Bunch of bug gates units, that's alright. Ah! The damn flippers. I know I can time my movements to coincide with theirs, but this is just way too hectic to begin with. And the knights are back, along with the drill wielders again to provide our final challenge, I think. As they did in the last, like, third round battle arena, right? Or no, it was them and some of the Travis clones. And the pinballs just won't stop. Just hurry up and give me some chips, please. There we go. Perfect. MC says yes, a series of asses. It is called a back burner. Okay, we made it to the locomotive, which is going to take us to what might be the last stretch of the game. Don't know. This is such a surreal stage. I love it. It's like fighting your way through a series of old-school Hollywood backlots. You've reached level 3. Oh, we're in space now. Space. You know, that vast black place in the sky. You'll be safe within the colony, but be careful out in the emptiness of space. Be sure to walk in order to conserve oxygen. Don't rush, and enjoy space. Okay. We're gonna have to keep an eye on our oxygen this time. That's fine. But we're in the colony for now, so we should be fine. Just fine. Oh no, this is gorgeous. Yes, I'm a big fan. You know, oddly enough, this feels like it would have made, both in terms of difficulty and design, a much better final stage, or preamble to the final boss, than the CIA did. Okay. Yeah, the flippers and pinballs do not damage enemies at all, it doesn't appear. Okay. Almost done, though. Probably one more arena to go through. That did it. Perfect. Ah, God. These flippers are the worst, man. Wait, no, maybe 2 more arenas before we reach our next sound stage. Which I assume is going to be set out in the vacuum of space, right? That's what they're building us up to. Oh, I guess we've just got to smash our way through these displays. Holographic displays. I can imagine how they'd be kind of durable if they're made out of the same stuff as the beam katana. Or similar stuff. Oh my god, we're just getting stun-locked to hell and back. Thanks to the turrets! You may have noticed that these games kind of like stun-locking you in order to introduce difficulty, regardless of format. That's one thing that seems universally true about No More Heroes' design philosophy. Oh, was that it, though? Okay. And yep, we're heading into the vacuum next. Don't listen to music on your bicycle. Listen to the sounds of the town. Stop, or you're gonna die someday. Grandpa's getting less and less coherent. I don't even know what to say at this point. Alright, Maya, thank you so much for joining us. Hope you have a great evening, and your work isn't too overwhelming. Don't run in the halls or in space. Manners and oxygen are important. Stay alert or you're dead. Right. So we need to expose... Or, no, we need to make sure we collect oxygen. Oh, no! Every so often. Or we die instantly. Okay. Wow. It's okay, though. We've got, like, 10 lives. I was about to say, really? We're just plowing through this at this point. I am... Bugjiro? No! Bugjiro! Hold on. We're gonna level up. Then, instead of the heavy chip, we're going to equip our dash chip. Ah. No, so close. So close. Ah, damn it, damn it, damn it! Looks like we gotta go back, and yeah, we're gonna die a couple times in this stage. Because this is a really weird mechanic to introduce all of a sudden. It's okay if we die again, we've got the lives. I'm sorry, I know this is bad level play, but like, what are you supposed to do with this? Hello, Bugjiro. This better be some good stuff, my man. Onomichi ramen. Its simple looks deceive. The shoyu broth and pork are a match made in heaven. Now that sounds simple, but hearty. I can dig it. Now let's go back to our heavy chip. MC says space ramen, space men. Space ramen for space men. Dig that. I do appreciate that they didn't even give us a timer here. Okay, well, we're home free, and now we just have to board some kind of space station, right? Oh, back in the colony, thank you, God. Grandpa's words to wisdom. Free is not cheap. On a lifelong scale, free is what ends up costing the highest price. Keep your guard up. Sure. Don't believe in the sixth sense. Search past that for the seventh sense. That's where answers lie. What I mean is past, present, and future are linked. Okie dokie. Are we going to have a different sheep man serving as a mid-boss here? Because it looks like that area up ahead is completely empty. Yes, we got a new one! A brand new one! Is this sheep man black? Or no, blue. MC says Captain Pantomonium. Oh yeah, poor Travis. I'm just a passing assassin. Bad luck for a simple passerby. I'm in a hurry with this DLC. Can we just hurry up and kill shit? Amen, Travis. It's your 6th trial, punk. You know what makes a mid-boss really terrifying? Not giving a shit. Hold on. I'm going to call this one Boss Design Circa 2008.jpg. That's an interesting little moveset it's got. Whoa, my God! The range on that. Is there even a way to dodge that? I mean, I'm sure there is, but... Oh, you have to destroy one of them. That's it. Okay. I just saw, like, the little blue projectile before, and I thought, oh, it's gonna expand. Stay away from it. But nope. Alright, he's down. So what could possibly be up next? Dropping back down to Earth. Straight through some kind of raging space battle. Is this going to deposit us at the studio? It's a real shame we don't get to fight all the other runners as, like, mini-bosses, but this is still fun. This is a great deal of fun. You've reached level 4. Next is the sea. It's time for a maritime mystery. The sea is a dangerous place. A lot of it is unexplored, and it's chock full of unknown, scary creatures. The bugs in the sea are super hardcore. They'll aim straight for your heart. Take care not to die. Okay. So this is a more conventional battle? Or do the enemies here just deal way more damage? I don't know. This is a beautiful environment. All these environments have been really eye-catching, I have to say. MC says I'm going to sleep. No, alright, man, no problem. Well, no, with that, tell you what, we are actually going to leave it there, since it is now around the point where most of my regular audience is well settled into their beds for the night. And I tell you what, tomorrow we are going to come back through to finish up this stage. It's probably got, like, less than 20 minutes left, I would say. And then dive right into Pokemon for the first time, for which I am kind of excited. Will I be able to learn those games again? Probably not, but we're gonna have fun, no matter what. So, until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you all so much for joining us this evening. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. Join us tomorrow for the premiere of Pokemon Sword, and my return to Pokemon for the first time in 12 some odd years, so that's going to be a learning experience. I'm super grateful to everyone who's joined us this evening. Deeply, deeply thankful to you all. Until next time, take care, everybody. Bye-bye.